All right. Hey Matt, this is my video for what mark do I deserve in this class. My plan is to kind of go over the course concepts that I learned this year and then kind of tie them into the assignments that we completed, show my growth where I kind of got from week 1 to week 12. So that's the plan here. I'm going to start off with project selection, as that was one of the first things that stood out to me, is the fact that instead of it being a matter of can we do this project, it's more of a question that should be asked is should we do this project? Does it align with our company goals? Does it align with the resources we have, with the constraints that we're working within? So this kind of applies to my painting business a lot, where I'm constantly having clients that maybe I've realized this isn't the right project and I have to kind of take myself out of that situation beforehand. And that's kind of where good project management begins. So I like that principle. We also talked about agile project management. Agile project management to me is being able to deliver value to your customer no matter what, no matter if there's change orders, no matter if there's timeline breaks, no matter if there is just stuff that comes up. You have to be able to, or agile project management to me is being able to adapt to uncertainties, which I think starts by kind of acknowledging that those uncertainties may arise. So having a risk register to kind of have a plan for when shit hits the fan, essentially. So yeah. Next thing that kind of stuck out to me was sources of conflict. I learned that there's 3 kind of main sources of conflict, whether it be authority, goal-oriented conflict, or interpersonal. I feel like being able to identify which one it is when it comes up is helpful in being able to actually solve that issue. So if it's an authority issue, you may have to look at the organizational structure. If it's goal-oriented, we maybe have to look at the alignment between teams and what their goals are. And then if it's interpersonal, that's just a personal thing that can be sorted out pretty easily by just separating people or redesigning teams. So sources of conflict was an interesting thing to see as it applies to my painting business. I see it all the time, whether there's conflict between my painters or my clients, myself. So it's good to learn that. In terms of the different operating models that we learned about, obviously there's the functional, the matrix, and the projectized. This kind of made me reflect on what my business is, what we operate under, and I feel like it's kind of a mix between that projectized and a matrix. Matrix in the sense that we do have teams that are specialized in certain areas, but we're able to move them around pretty frequently. And if one guy's taking vacation, we can move this guy here and he's able to spray. Or if we have one guy who's really good at interiors, but we have a big exterior project, I'm able to shift crews around. So, and then the projectized part about that is the fact that they all have kind of authority over their own work. So if they start a project, they're the ones finishing it, which kind of gives them ownership over their work. So I kind of found that I'm combined between those two and bits and pieces from each of them. In terms of budgeting, I learned that really the bottom-up approach is the best way to go. Going into it, I understand how some projects it can be different, but at least for the kind of projects that I quote for, using a bottom-up approach is way better. It actually lets me get real numbers on what it costs to do this project, rather than we have this budget here, we're able to spend 10,000. How should we allocate that? Like, no, bottom up for me makes a lot more sense. And I would like to go a little deeper and compare the two and see where it does make sense for a top-down approach, maybe larger projects that I'm not really familiar with, but that's kind of what I got from that. So where I've applied a lot of this knowledge in the course, obviously we have all those weekly assignments that I usually was paired up with Keaton or Jake, where we were able to apply all of this. But really I think it's the final submission that we did, as well as the 3 change events, that we were really able to apply all this, especially in the scenario with the 401, where we had to really clearly define the scope of what is our job in this scenario, and then with the risk registry, what are the risks here? And we were even able to kind of to predict the fact that the 401 might not work. So I feel like we did a really good job of having a backup plan for that, and being able to set stage gates to review with the 401, with the Ontario government, to see if the 401 is the right move for them. So I think that was the assignment where I felt I was able to apply all of this the most and really grew throughout the semester. I don't actually have an original video of this. I did an essay, so I can't really compare this video to that one. In terms of the mark I would want in this class, I feel like I deserve around an 80 is fair to me. I think I've really been able to demonstrate my knowledge as a project manager, and then apply it to all the assignments as well, participating a bunch in class. So I feel like an 80 is pretty fair. That's really all I have to say about this course. I'm at 5 minutes now, so I'll call it there. And thanks for a great semester. Cheers.